After completing the memorization of the Quran, completing the Alimiyyah and Iftar course from Darlumberry in 2001, Mufti Abdul Muhit began offering supplementary after-school classes in a 4-bedroom flat in 2004, with an initial enrolment of 13 students. As word spread, more students joined, highlighting a growing need for a full-time Islamic school and madrasa. In response, a girls' school was founded in 2008, initially serving just 7 secondary school girls. With increasing enrolment and a growing waiting list, it became clear that more spaces were required. However, regulations limited the number of students who could study in the current building to just 30. To accommodate the demand, plans were made to secure a bigger facility. In 2009, Mufti Sahib began looking for a larger location for the school. After some deliberation, a Grade 2 listed building, the Benwell Towers, also known as the Biker Grove site, came up for sale. After consultations with the community, we were finally able to negotiate a deal for the new building at the cost of £412,000, which included surveys and reports, etc. We managed to raise funds through the contributions of the community and by taking Qarz Hasana. On the 3rd of Ramadan in August 2010, we officially became the new owners of the property, which occupies 2.83 acres of land. With the acquisition of the building complete, we then turned our focus on renovating the school, which required us to obtain planning permissions before any work could be carried out. This process took us almost 2.5 years, after which we were finally granted full permission on the 16th of December 2012. To facilitate the project, we incurred costs of £36,000 for project management and over £20,000 for architectural fees. One of the difficulties we faced was paying people back Qarz Hasana, as the building had various issues that needed repairing. The most expensive was the roof, which cost £195,000 to fix, of which £23,000 went towards asbestos removal. In addition, Japanese knotweed cost £8,000 to remove, and dry rot inflicted £26,000 worth of damages. The repair work was further compounded by the many council-mandated reports and surveys that needed completing, adding to the project's complexity. As the time came for Qarz Hasana to be paid back, we found ourselves short on funds due to the repair work. Though we received planning permission, they came with strict conditions indicating the council was resistant to the work being completed. To meet the conditions, an additional £100,000 was needed to begin the work. Moreover, the council would only allow students to access the building once all repairs were completed, an expense estimated at £2.2 million. To mitigate this, we came up with a phase approach to developing the building. Despite this, securing planning permission for Phase 1 alone required a year of discussion. Back in late 2013, we received a planning permission for Phase 1. At that time, everyone was keen for us to move forward, but we had to pause to focus on the work that needed doing, which totalled up to a cost of £350,000 as people were asking for their qarz back. Sadly, due to the strict conditions, 3 years later, in 2016, we lost the planning permission for which we had worked hard to get. To make matters worse, finding a new, reliable architect proved to be a real challenge, and it took us 6 months before we finally found some architects who could help. It was only after that long, frustrating period that we were able to start again, reapplying for planning permission and waiting another 3 years until it was eventually granted in 2019. Getting that building work off the ground required a lot of fundraising, which proved more difficult as we lost some of the support along the way. It was a tough period of uncertain expenses and doubts, but we were determined to see it through. We now have a solid, accepted planning permission plan and contractors lined up to finish the job. All we need is the funding to make our vision a reality. Phase 1 of Bahr includes a staff room, an office, a medical room, a wudu khana and 7 classrooms. We need close to £500,000, after which we will be able to complete phase 1 of the building. This allows us to have 60 full-time students, and with that we can start the boys' school. Now we are in desperate need of the funds to start the final part of the work for phase 1.